you had a pretty viral moment where Kanye
Yes.
this is right after Jesus is King,
Yes.
randomly wants to pull up to your church
Yep.
and play Donda,
Yes.
the unedited version of Donda that I heard was trying to pull down the fader during the cuss words in the middle of it. How did that come about, and what was all that? Because before you tell me your story, let me tell you my little brief story with Kanye. This is recent Kanye, unfortunately.
Yes.
He kept posting stuff, and it just got wilder and wilder. And at one point, he was following me back on Instagram. I don't know if he knew who I was, but there was some form of engagement at the very least. And I posted something about him coming back to Jesus or something like that. And then he reached out to me and was like, hey, Christians didn't hold me down. You guys just prayed. You didn't really do anything. And I was like, what did you want? What did you want us to do? You know? So he deactivated his Instagram, but for about a month or no longer than that, probably about 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
I would just send him a Bible verse every single day.
Yes.
And it would just say seen. And then I'd like kind of throw him a little light joke about something he said on TMZ or something like that. He'd like those. He'd never liked the Bible verses. And then he deactivated his Instagram. But I would reach out. I mean, there was one point I was like hitting up Pastor Jeff. I'm hitting up different people. Like, hey, we should we send Kanye today? And we just kept sending him Bible verses. And I don't know where he's at. He's in a dark place seemingly now. When you guys connected, he seemed to be in a much different place. And so tell us a little bit about that backstory.
Well, I had a friend of mine that came to me and he said, hey, I work with Kanye. And I said, yeah. And he goes, he really wants to do the drop at a church. I said, cool. And he wants to use your church. Really?
Why your church?
Because my friend Chris at that time was great friends with him. And so Chris said, hey, if you're going to do it at my friend's, Benny Perez's church, in Church LV, right, in Las Vegas. And so through negotiations and stuff like that, can they hold it? What's the facility like and stuff like that. And so we were able to, okay, let's do it. But Kanye was very interesting because he didn't really want us to advertise it out to everybody. He wanted really just for our church kind of, because it was really an environment where he wanted to really have people to listen to the songs. And if you listen to the songs, there's some lyrics and basically I just said, hey, listen, there's some things, and he goes, no, I got you. Right. So he was doing that,
So you had heard some of the music beforehand.
Yeah. So
and we're like, hey man.
Some of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty raunchy features on there. Yeah. On that Donda 2 album. He ended up taking out all the cuss words.
Yes.
That went live.
So he didn't, the cuss words weren't happening in the church, right? We had like 1,800 people, and it was cool because he wanted a certain way. It was very creative. Man, I learned a lot. I'm like, I want to have my stage and everything like this. So we brought in some stuff. And I got to tell you, at that time, Kanye was so gracious, so humble. So he came in, he was wearing a mask or whatever over his head. And I met with him. He was very gracious.
He keeps the mask on while he does it. That's such a yay thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're sitting there talking to him and he has a mask on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So me and my wife are there and he's very gracious and thanked us. And it was a beautiful night. And I said, can I pray for you? And I prayed for him, laid my hands on him and prayed for him. And, they had said like, hey, you know what, that he's going to probably want to bounce real quick, right? Because, he doesn't like to stay around. He stayed there so long. After everything was done, he stayed there. And what was told to us is he loved what he felt in the building. He felt something in the building. Well, we know what that was. Really, it's God. So my experience with Kanye was nothing but good. It really was. And, did we get some fierce feedback? Yeah, we did. How can you do that? He's da. And then somebody kind of like they were videoing me and I didn't know they were videoing me.
I saw this clip come out. Yeah. Yes. I think we may have reacted to this when it happened too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, the way they shot it and the way they framed it and everything, it seemed a certain way, but it wasn't that. And so that got all kinds of blowback, because of that.
I don't remember how did it seem or how was it framed? I don't remember.
Yeah, because it was like we were walking out and it's go, oh my gosh, And I even forgot what I said, right? But the intent of what I said was taken the wrong way, right? And so next thing I know, I'm being blasted. I'm thirsty for,
What were people mad about? Like, I don't
They
understand.
were mad because they don't think that Kanye should be in a church. He should not be in there because he is not a Christian. He's not saved, and he's just using it as a publicity stunt. He's trying to build up the Jesus, is king and all that kind of stuff. And here's where I'm at. Okay, here's where I'm at.
And just for the record, so there's no confusion. This is pre Alex Jones, Hitler's Great, Kanye.
Oh, no.
This is like years before.
No,
that.
yeah. No, because if all that stuff.
This
no.
is right after Jesus is King, as
Yes.
he's rolling out Donda, which I want to say was 2021 or 2022-ish.
Yeah, it was about maybe 2021, right?
Yeah.
You have to look, but he had just like been at like churches and or doing events with worship and everything, so it was great.
Yeah, I went to quite a few of those Sunday service events.
Okay, and what'd you think?
Fire. They were fire. I mean, they were fire, and he had a wide range of even theological framing. So there would be the guy from Master's Seminary, John MacArthur's college, and then there would be someone that's more charismatic.
Yep.
And then there would always be a clear opportunity to receive Jesus.
Yep.
And it wasn't like a Billy Graham crusade or a Harvest Festival, because it was predominantly not Christians there. Like 85%, 90% of the audience is completely not Christian.
Yes.
And it wasn't about Kanye. That was the most interesting part, is that you couldn't even see Kanye for the majority of this. He was kind of tucked away with the Sunday service choir. So I thought they were great. Like, I thought, like, oh man, like, I almost feel bad that the lockdowns happened, because I saw him January 2020, right before the lockdown started. March 2020. I saw him right before that in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, of all places.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And someone was like, hey man, Kanye's gonna be here. You want to come out? And I was like, yeah, I'll come out. And me and my buddy Nick D and a couple other people went. And it was great. I was like, this is great. And I think what happened was the lockdowns really messed him up. And then that drove him into the wanting to be president. He all of a sudden was running for president when everything locked down. And then that cost him his marriage, because his wife was like, what are you doing?
Right.
And then he wanted his God to restore his marriage. God didn't restore his marriage the way he wanted to. And I think that kind of derailed his faith. Like, I think he had this like, no, everything's going to be okay. God's got me. And it's like, man, it doesn't always work that way. So I think Kanye, from and again, very brief interactions, I think he was doing well. And then it all kind of unraveled when he started running for president.
I think when I met him, okay, so all the things you're saying, coming off of, all the Jesus King, all the tour.
Yeah.
So I met what I would say probably the best version of Kanye, at that time. And I would agree with you. I think when we start thinking God's going to do it this way, and if he doesn't do it this way, then I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what we talked about with the healing, and you believe that it's got to happen this way, and if it doesn't, then God's not God.
Exactly. And unfortunately, this guy's turned away from his faith and apparently into some stuff I don't know. I don't keep up with him. Yeah. But it was a great night that night. And I could say some of those songs, now this is controversial, maybe what people are going to say, I can't believe he said that. I felt an anointing. I felt the presence of God. There was some of those songs, man. I mean,
no, there's some great songs on that.
They're
Donda
worshiping.
2 album.
I mean, we're going for it, right? And it's just like
Donda 1, sorry. That was
yeah,
the Donda
yeah.
album,
And I was just like, wow, this is unbelievable that he would want, and he left our church, and then he went to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So get this, he comes to a church, we seated about 2,000, but then he goes to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, right, to do his next event. And he wanted to make sure the first place that he did it was in a house of God. Now, regardless of what you think about him or not, to me, that shows his heart. It's like, dude, okay, you've been doing Jesus is King, this tour, whatever. I just thought it was a great event.
It was at the Chicago listening party where he tried to do that reconciliation with Kim, and he had her in a white dress, and she came down, and it was like this, like, and I think he thought like, oh, like I'm gonna win her back, and it didn't happen, and he just kept unraveling. What was it? Was it just the fact that you guys had a mutual friend, and that's why he wanted to do your church? It was just that, or was there something else about why he wanted to do a church in Vegas? And
I think he wanted to do it in Vegas, and because of my mutual friend Chris, that Chris says, I know the guy.
Yeah.
Funny story is that we were building out our new facility, and I get a phone call from Chris, and he goes, hey, Pastor Benny, are you in town? I said, yeah, I'm in town. He goes, hey, can you meet us down at the building? I said, nah, bro, I'm really busy, right? He goes, are you sure? I just want to show a friend. I said, no, I'm really busy. I can't do it. You know who was with him?
Yay.
I tell him, I'm like, so I found out afterwards. Yeah. I'm going, Chris, why didn't you tell me? Yeah. It was, Yeah.
He goes, you were busy.
And I'm like, but I really was busy, but I think I probably would have changed my busyness.
Yeah.
because I felt like an opportunity to just meet him, not because I want anything from him. He was really searching.
Yeah.
You could sense that. He was really searching. Even when I met him, you could see the openness to him.
Yeah, I think that the hard part is folks who live that life, that face fast pace, private jet, moving around, and there's the layer of mental health, and I'm not going to say I know what is going on with his mental health. What they need is to be in the same place, wake up at the same time, go outside, touch grass, get sunshine, read your Bible, eat the same foods, go to the gym. That's what he actually needs. And I meet a lot of these guys, and we talk, and it's like, man, you're just not taking care of yourself well, and you're not allowing the living a liturgical lifestyle, living an ordered life.
Yes.
And then your life is chaos, and you wonder why you keep hitting these same roadblocks, and you keep having these. And that's the unfortunate part about fame and riches and celebrity is you're your own God functionally. So you can come and go. You could wake up in any zip code or area code you want, any time zone. And that's very difficult from a spiritual standpoint, like healthy spiritual formation, which is kind of like what I love about the book that you're laying out, which is like thinking like Jesus, right? Now we're getting into mind, habits, thought life. Your thoughts are going to impact how you feel. How you feel is going to impact how you behave. How you behave is going to impact your habits. Your habits are going to impact your trajectory of your life, right?
Sir. Yeah.
And so I think this stuff is so important is we actually need to get people to think like Jesus. We need, and not in a weird new agey manifesting your thoughts are things and frequencies and vibrations, but your thoughts do impact a lot. And it comes down to that like routine and those healthy habits. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Comment down below and let me know what you think. And be sure to check out this video that YouTube is recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right. I'll see you over there. Peace.